Mr. Ron. Well, I sure done a lot of boxes for you, mister. Well, Mr. Ron purchased this because he knew it'd been through here. This is a, shoot, who built this box? It's a Stonewall 16 pill. Now this thing's been here before. This used to be owned by my good friend Popeye. Popeye's a good guy. He's an honest man. He does straight good business. And Popeye just happened to get this thing running, shot a video of it for him, and help him sell it. So we did just that. Well, it came back here from Ron. He said, "Man, the thing's awfully anemic for 16 pill." I said, "Yeah, it sure was when it left here last time." So what we did, Ron, is we took one turn out of each one of the output transformers. And then the other thing I want to show you is this. Oh, sorry guys. I'm running on half a wing here. I've only got one good hand, which is my left hand. I'm right-handed. Ended up shaving off the fingertip off my finger. I took all the fatty bit right off the end of my finger the other day working on a messenger for a guy. Which, that video should be the one that's up after this. I actually videotaped myself doing it because I was videoing part of the repair process that I was doing, and when I slid the die and stuff apart, I sliced the end of my finger off. Anyhow, what I wanted to get at is Ron, as I've covered in many videos before, these Anderson clips actually suck. They suck quite a great deal. I've got this thing hooked up to the 1000 amp power supply down here below the bench, and we're at 14.3 and 14.3. So when we go to key this thing, Ron, you're going to watch this drop to the dirt. That's because the voltage leads are probed off the inside of the cabinet. It's still 14.3 here, but we lose so much amperage going through these low or high loss connections that it'll drop down to about 11 volts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run it up in small incremental steps, and we're going to show you what it does when it's actually on 14 volts underneath the load, which will be well over north of 4,000 watts. So we took all the anemacy right out of this box. We made it a little bit more of an ass kick. The bulb is out in the front. The power on bulb is out in the front. So I'm going to see if I can find you a grain of wheat light bulb to go in there. If not, I think your kid's going to have to replace your light bulb. But on that note, let's get to it. So we're going to use a 2950. First off, let's see, are we off? Hello. Yeah, we're off. Okay. Let's run around the band. 5-watt slug between the 2950 and, of course, the bench 2x4 and then the 16 pill. We've got the 1000-watt slug in PEP, 5000-watt slug in average, and a 5-watt slug in reverse back in the bird, 10,000-watt dummy load. We've got the voltmeter, which is run internal to the power leads on the inside of the box. This thing's actually a really pretty box, and I'm going to put the lid on it. I want everybody to see what it looks like when the lid's on it. It's got 5 fans on the top of it. This thing is really quite a nice unit, and so I can't believe Popeye sold it, but he wanted the money, I think, to put towards another amplifier. Anywho, here we go. Okay, so talking through the box. Nice and low. Here's our input drive into the 2x4. About 20 watts. Kick on the 2-pill or the 2x4. Lay it in the corner there, BBI. Alright, we're going to go up to 2x. We're going to put about 1200 watts worth of peak drive into it. It's a really hot box. Now, I've sold this box once. It went out to a friend of mine, and he ended up having a weird problem with it. I brought it back here. I only got it to do that same problem once, then I've never got it to do again. But I decided I'd just hold on to it and keep it. This has got the HGs in it, which you're not going to hear me say anything negative about the HGs. Not like now, not ever. They finally got a transistor that works. Okay, so let's kick on the 16 pill. And so that math makes sense to everybody. We're going to go back down to the 1X. About 500 peak watts out of it. And let's see, that would be about 200 bird with just 20 watts of drive. So now we're going to flip this thing on down to 5x. 1000 watt, 2000 watt, 3000 watt, 4000, 5000. Peak. Okay. Now let's look at what we get out of it with 1200 watts of drive. About 3200 and change, right? Now watch our voltage. That's a 12.5. We're seeing 3500 watts out of this box. Let me reach down here with my broken wing. Now we're going to run this up to 16.6. But once we key it, that's going to fall on his face. Oh, hit the button. Sorry guys for the shitty camera work. I'm running on a bad hand here. So right at 15 volts. Watch this. And about 1500 watts bird. Crazy, right? 4,000 watts on 14.8 volts. Now let's go get the Frankenstein radio and hook that up. Give me just a second. Oh, you guys are gonna love this. Okay, so what I mean by the Frankenstein radio is this is my Cobra 29 I got from Wolfman Radio Shop, otherwise known as Derail. So we're gonna take that Cobra 29, we're gonna run it into this 2x4. Remember how we were barely able to get 2,000 watt, or yeah, 200 watts of drive into this thing on bird? But about 550 bird. And the same amount of peak wattage. So now we're going to kick on the 16 pill. Now remember guys, what I've shown you in video after video after video after video. The peak wattage will stay roughly the same, but we're going to see some hella more bird out of this box. Here we go. Peak watts first. Roughly 4,200 peak. 4,300 watts average on 14 volts. This thing's an amp whore. It'll suck up a ton of juice. Let's shut all this stuff down. This thing is a beast. It's a good box. I cannot believe it languished on eBay for as long as it did. But this thing is really, really nice. This is an old school box with a new school flavor. Now, like I said, I went in and I took some wraps out of it. And I added some capacitance here and I added some capacitance back there. But it shits and gets with it. Now, Ron, if you want to see a huge increase, I want to change out that Anderson clip. Now give me just a minute. I want to throw the lid on it and I want everybody to see what it looks like, and then I got a couple more tips for you, Ron, on how to run this, and then we'll be done. So give me just a second. Well, Mr. Ron, in conclusion, you got yourself a nice Stonewall Jackson 16 pill. This thing is almost without mirror image. I mean, this thing is just, there's really no scuffs. There's really no dings. It's really, really clean. Oh yeah. Check it out. I got the light to work. All your fans are working. And really that moves quite a bit of air. Just enough to get the job done. But Ron, I appreciate you sending it back out to me. This is a beautiful box, and I think you're going to get many, many good years of use. Remember, the center tip on this, when you plug the stereo jack in it, is hot. And the other thing, Ron, that you got to think about is that this amp's got coax on the inside of it. From the combiner back to the coax connector, there's a piece of 393 coax. Because there's about a foot worth of coax. I don't know how long your coax is now, but you're probably, depending on how your system's set up, you might need to take a little bit of coax out of the length. So you've got 12 feet, you're probably going to be looking at about 10.5 feet. Just saying. because there's coax inside the cabinet. It's an old school box. But brother, this thing shits and gets with it. On that note, I'm out of here. Peace, good night. I'm going to go work on this messenger, which cut friggin' my finger off, which I've had a really hard time dealing with because this thing hurts so bad. Every time I look at that box, I just want to throw it. But I won't. Professional ethics prevent me. Gentlemen, my name is BBI, and without a shadow of a doubt, I am the biggest mud duck in Idaho. If this is your first time ever watching one of my videos, click subscribe. Click the alert button. That way you know that you can come and check out the videos as soon as I post them. Yeah, I appreciate you all following along. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram. And like I said, if you're new to the channel, make sure to click subscribe. If you got any questions that aren't covered underneath the webpage, just give me a call, 208-392-0108. Talk to you soon. Bomb from the biggest mud duck in Idaho. See you, boys. Bye.